Rob, what's good?
What up, King? What's going on?
Oh man, you got it.
Man, getting to it. You know, I had to make sure I tap in with you one time.
Oh, it's all love.
How the fam doing?
Everybody good, man. You know, solid. Enjoying the summer as much as possible.
Now, how much steak did you eat on Father's Day? That's the question. That's the real question.
Man, you know, I'm more of a seafood guy, man. I fell back on the steak a few years back, man. So, I had some good shrimp, lobster, and crab, and whatnot.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was nice.
I know y'all was going in. You know, for me, you know, it was just chilling with my kids and took my dad to dinner. You know what I mean? It's funny because that, you know, that those dynamics of, like, you know, the generations between our family and just how we all kind of build together. And, you know, like, my dad sees small things in my kids, and then I see things in my dad that, you know what I mean, and me that my dad used to do. That shit, it'd be crazy, man. It'd be funny. It'd be have me rolling.
Yeah, man, we all get it honest, as the old folks say.
Right. Hey, I can't thank you enough for allowing me to be a part of the latest project. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, come on, knock it off, man. You know you a beast in your own right. It was a pleasure to work with you. You know what I mean? It was super effortless, man. You know what I mean? And you know, that's just a testament to Dope Boy knowing who's gonna vibe with who. And you know, as soon as he linked this up, man, we banged out classic records, man. Roses is a classic record.
Roses.
Along with Keep Your Head Up 3 and Respect and Pride.
Right.
So the chemistry is there.
Man, I didn't even know you was gonna name it Keep Your Head Up 3. I feel like that's such an honor. I'm honored, like, heavily, you know what I'm saying? Because the first two, of course, is classics, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just honored just to be able to contribute to that, you know what I mean?
Man, I had always wanted somebody to sample that record in the right way. You know, that's one of my favorite songs on time, period, any genre.
Right.
So, Sounds of Blackness, it's a positive record. It did so much for me back in the days, just inspiring me. I was like, oh my goodness, as soon as you played it, 2 seconds in, you know, I had my first few bars already. You know, and those are the kind of songs I like to be a part of. If I got to struggle to write it, that means it ain't the vibe. You know what I mean? Every record we did just came
organic.
Like I say, it was just super organic.
Right, and then also for me, like, you know, it's one of those, a combination between, you know, workload of what I do, but also being a fan of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had that conversation before, like, my favorite Outlaw and just a natural fan all the way. So I wanted to make sure I didn't do what I feel like a lot of producers do. And I feel like a lot of producers, they're fans of different artists, and what they end up doing is they end up just giving them the same pocket that they've always done, or they kind of try to, like, sonically outdate them. It's like, don't do that. Like, don't outdate somebody that you're a fan of. You know what I'm saying? Like give them some shit that you feel like is now, or it is on the wave of what their thought process is now. You know what I mean? And that was, I swear to you, that was my main thing I was thinking in my brain when you walked in the door. I was like, yo, I gotta give them some fresh, up-to-date, ill shit. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt, man. And then, you know, I'm gonna start working on, as soon as, you know, towards the end of the summer, I'm gonna start working on OG3, and we gotta do it all again.
Ooh, we gotta do it all again. Yo, Doe gonna be excited, yo. That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, we set the bar high, man, so we got work to do.
Yes, we did. Even, you know, just the release party. You got to do some more release parties too, man. When the world open back up, man. I mean, it ain't even got to be like a release party. Just really, like, I just like the energy of what was going on. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody
great energy, man. You did your thing hosting. It was great energy that night. Absolutely.
It was dope, man. Everybody was showing love. You know what I'm saying? So many different, walks of life in terms of ethnic background and, like just black culture. You know what I'm saying? So many different flavors. It was hip hop cats in there. It was gangster cats in there. It was, cats that be on a high level business, you know what I'm saying, which you're an element of that as well. You know what I mean? It was dope, man. It was crazy.
Epic night, man. And ironically, man, I don't know if you noticed, but for me, that was my last real public outing, man. And, because right after that, shit got crazy in the world.
Right. That's crazy. Yeah, the whole COVID and everything hit. That's crazy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, that was, like you said, man, we definitely will do it again once the world opens back up and, have a good time, man, like we did that night.
That's going to be dope, man. How the real estate joint going? Because, I got a chance to check out that live that you did with your boy about just the whole real estate game and everything. And I was very inspired by that. And then I was also, I'm not gonna lie, I was intimidated because it was like, it's a lot of shit I don't know about real estate, man.
And man, that's one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, we decided to do it. My guy Jamil Damsey is heavy in the real estate game down in Arizona, and he's done very well. And I was in the real estate game when I was living in Atlanta. I did some rehabs, even out here in California, I had a townhouse that I bought and sold in the early 2000s. And I always did very well with real estate. When the market crashed in 2008, I kind of got out of it, and took the hit like everybody else, I had to dump some properties at a loss. And it was what it was. And so I always said that I would make a return to real estate when I felt the time was right. And but I had to relearn because things change and you can always learn more. And Jamil is one of those guys that I go to for advice, and just through conversations with him, he was like, man, it'd be dope if we did this live, you know what I mean? It just gave people information that needed or that wanted, for free. You know what I mean? And then, through that you can link up with Jamil too, just like I do. And so when we do those lives, not only is the public learning, but I'm learning right along with y'all. And I have questions too. So, that's why I look forward to it. The response is incredible from the first one we did. So we had to do another one. And because people want to know, man, and they deserve to know. And you shouldn't have to pay to learn. If you got a phone in your hand and you got IG, you can go on IG and just chop it up with us for an hour. Ask all the questions you want.
Right.
And we're going to give you the game for real, the truth, because it seems intimidating. It seems complicated. And that's what makes people hesitate to get involved in it. But it's no boogeyman that's going to steal all your money, or you don't need a bunch of money to get in real estate like a lot of people think. You don't have to have a real estate license. You could just be an average cat with just a little bit of hustle about yourself and start, making some capital.
Right, exactly. And, for me, like where it really comes in for me is, I've been running studios for years, you know what I'm saying? And just, being able to have, company-wise, our own creative space to really just get down and get busy, you know what I'm saying? And then being able to expand because, we trying to expand in different states, you know what I'm saying? So that's where it really come in, is being able to say, okay, there's a local astronauts LA, there's a local astronauts Vegas, there's a local astronauts Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just trying to do some heavy shit, you know what I mean? But I do need to have my hand. I mean, even if I have someone helping me with the real estate, the fact of me learning the language and the knowledge of what it's about, so I can be able to, oversee that element if I do have somebody help me, you know what I mean?
No doubt, man. Information is key, man. It's more valuable than money, because with information you can get to the money.
Yeah.
So that's all we need out here.
And I've always been I got the money, man. Let's just pay it up for a couple months and let's just do that. You know what I mean? But I know that there's other ways. There's other ways, you know, to be able to get properties and to pay low costs and, you know what I mean? You know, it's so much stuff, but I'm definitely tapped into y'all live for sure. And I might just end up calling y'all and just asking questions on the road too. You know what I mean?
No doubt. No doubt.
That shit is crazy. I know you got a gang of properties. That's dope. See that all of that I love. All of that I'm with, and I just want to get more and more into it. I'm so into tech. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Sometimes I don't realize there's other elements of this game that you got to really tap into. But you know, it's always a learning experience. It's always a learning process. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, no doubt.
Man, that's crazy. What's your favorite joint on OG?
Man, you know, I got different joints for different days, man, you know, because it's a plethora of vibes on this OG part 2, man. But I would say, you know, I give you my top 3. Talk About It, the first song on there.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'm very proud of Roses, how that came out. I'm big on songwriting, man. I'm a fan of songwriters, man. So,
right.
You know, Roses is definitely one of my favorites. And then I would have to go with Easy Call too, because Easy Call is kind of out of my comfort zone.
Right.
You know, I love fun records from other artists, but I rarely do them myself. And Easy Call is a fun record.
Yeah, Easy Call is one of my favorites because you're right. It does take you to a different place. The hook is banging. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like still, even though you may feel like it's out of your element, I feel like you jump right in pocket. You jump right in pocket. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And I feel like it's my element, and I want to continue to have fun with music. I just never ventured out of my comfort zone up until, you know, recently.
Right. PCH is my favorite record. I think that's the illest record on the project.
Oh yeah, PCH is crazy.
PCH is, yo... Old man 80s the A. Hey, he went in. I hit him so many times on Instagram. Was like, yo, man, you bodied that PCH, yo.
Yeah, PCH is a vibe that you don't really hear a lot today. You know, that's almost like some 80s pop R&B. And for, you know, a nigga to be rapping on that, it's just ill. It's just different. You know what I mean? Like you said. And so, yeah, PCH is, you know, another one that I love, and I would really love to shoot a video, man.
You know, gotta shoot the video, man.
I gotta do it, but I gotta do it with Burner, man. And Burner right now is, you know, he's not moving around because of the COVID that much. He got some people that he lived with some compromised immunity, and he also has some you know, some health issues as well.
Right.
So he's being very cautious with how he move around. So he was just, you know, like, E.D.I, man, once everything slow up, man, you know, let's get to it. We'll get it done. You know what I mean? So hopefully that'll happen before, you know, I got to drop OG3, man, because OG3, I promised people I would drop that in 90 days from the release of OG2.
Oh. Well,
I like keeping my promises.
Right. No, I'm with that. I mean, even still, I still feel like, even with you saying that and still holding yourself to that, I still think the visuals can drop anytime, because now it's almost like it's a package deal in a sense, and you can drop visuals from both of them. You know what I mean?
No, you're right. You're 100% right about that, man. Because we as a group, we've dropped videos late and just dropped them like whatever. Let's just put it out. You know what I mean? And you know, so that's facts right there, man. So all hope is not lost for PC.
Yeah, and then dropping videos for like the moments, like, you know, I know how I used to be, like, you know, drop a project, pick your 3 singles, make the videos. I get all that, but this is 2020. Switch 100%. All of this shit up. Let's like, yo, if you got a record, I don't care if it's from your last 2 projects. If you got a record that's relevant for now, create a new visual for it. You don't have to necessarily go all the way in on putting a big production for the video if you don't want to, but man, show them a visual of things that's relevant to whatever's going on now. And I feel like when people open up and they want to have a good time and, you know, getting their rides and ride, that PCH is perfect for that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these people don't be knowing what project these songs be on any damn way sometimes. You know how it go.
Nah, because it's a single-driven marketplace nowadays anyway. You know, people ain't really consuming whole projects like they should.
Right.
Unless you more or less from our era where we really came up appreciating a whole body of work. So you right about that, man. It's a single-driven marketplace anyway.
Yeah, and we treat the music more like art more than anything. Like the music is art now, so it's like it's that conversation piece that you can hone into, and then it just really, it doesn't have any time frame on it anymore. You know what I mean? Which is it's a good and a bad thing. I think it's better on the independent side because you can manipulate how you want people to indulge your art. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it.
Yeah, man.
Like I was telling the homie the other day, I'm like, dude, why are you still worried about how many singles you gonna drop from this project? Man, if you don't give them this music, stop playing.
Man, I tell my little homies that all the time, man. What you sitting on it for? You know what I'm saying? What you waiting for, man? Put that shit out, man. You know, content is king, man. One of my favorite phrases is content is king, man.
Right.
You know, you can never have too much content. You know, you don't want to drop it all at the same time, but you want to get it out there, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy Doughboy who found that PCH track for me before we move any further. He found that track.
He did that.
Old man 80s and
he did.
I heard it, I was like, oh,
that shit was so crazy. That shit's so crazy. That's in my playlist for sure. You know what I'm saying? and I love the fact that, you know, you were open to some sort of direction. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you're a legend. So as a legend, you have the right to completely disregard whatever direction anybody that's not on your status plateau, you have the right to disregard it at any given time. Yet you're very open to, let's see what this do. Let's see what's up with this. You know what I mean? I appreciate that. I think that was the golden moment for us working on records. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, man. You know, you want different results. You got to do different things, man. And so I've been dropping solo projects for the past few years. You know, I was always affiliated with a group, as most people know.
Right.
Never really wanted to do solo projects, to be honest with you. Because I was always in the groups. I came up loving groups like EPMD, NWA, Public Enemy. So I was always a big fan of groups as opposed to just solo artists. Mm-hmm. So I always saw myself a part of a team. But when I started doing solo projects, I fell in love with that process too. And I'm, you know, put out a couple of solo projects. They did well. The response was always positive. People was always liking the music, but I wanted to go somewhere else with this project. And if I'm gonna still be doing it solo, it has to excite me. I have to be inspired.
Right.
You know what I mean? And one of the things that inspired was Doughboy's ear. I like his choice of beats. You know what I mean? For a West Coast dude, he got great ears. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's just not locked into one particular sound. Mm-hmm. And so, just for me working with him, you know, I was like, I got started on OG. I was like, you know what? I need to holler at Doughboy and actually get an A&R for my project that can go out there and reach out to different artists and different producers that's outside of my circle. You know what I mean? Because my circle of people are used to dealing with me, and so they kind of giving me the beats they feel like they think I like.
Right.
I like all kind of shit. You know what I mean? I'm just not one-dimensional. And so it was a good idea on my part, man. You know, that was a CEO call, and as an independent CEO, I made that call. Like, yo, you know what? Hire A&R for this project. Let's do some music together. Let's get some different vibes, man. So
right.
The projects don't sound like the last two or three.
Right. And man, and that's the same way I feel like, you know, Like, Doe got an incredible ear, and like, even his palette for music opened up even more when he was in prison. You know what I'm saying? It opened up a lot more, and because it was funny because, you know, us being friends for so long, like, we used to have battles, you know, No Limit against Wu-Tang. You know what I mean? Hot Boys against Mobb Deep. Like, I'm a East Coast nigga, so that's, you know where I'm at. You know what I mean? So he embraced the West and the South. So at the same time of us battling with music, we used to literally play like these different records, and we didn't even realize at that time that we was actually schooling each other on new, fresh music, and our palettes just got bigger and bigger, and he started to embrace more elements of his palette, you know, his music palette, you know, later on, in prison. And now he can listen to some shit and be like, oh, that's the one. You know what I mean? And listening to, you know, artists that we all grew up listening to, like, he can now listen to you and what you on, and he be like, okay, it's elements that I know he can find and pull some shit out from. You know what I mean? Shit is dope, man. Shit is dope. He came a long way, man. And he only getting started.
Right. That's the scary part about it, man, because there's so much room for growth for that man, and so many places he can go, you know, in the business. And I think one of the first things I liked about Doughboy, he had reached out to me to get on his project. I thought Doughboy was a rapper.
Yeah, everybody thought that.
I thought he was a rapper, so in my head, I'm like, okay, you know, I mean, here go another rapper, want me to get on something, it's all good. I fuck with him outside of music, just personally, because when we met, we didn't meet on business. It was more of a personal situation.
Right.
And so I already rock with him on that. So I was like, it's all good. You know what I mean? I dropped my verse, you know what I'm saying? He ain't even got to pay for it. Let's just work.
Right.
And you know, then one night we was in the studio, and I'm like, which one is you on this track? He like, oh, nah, big bro, I don't rap. Nah, I just put projects together, man. You know what I mean? I just put projects together, all my favorite artists, and that shit almost knocked me out the chair. I'm like, oh, so you don't even rhyme, my nigga? He like, nah, man. You know what I mean? I ain't no rapper. Bet, that's even better.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Because in my opinion, we got too many goddamn rappers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody's dreams. If you want to be a rapper, do you? You know what I mean? Just be great at it and study the craft. But, you know, I'm not mad at any less rappers if possible. We need more producers and A&Rs and executives.
Listen, those are conversations that we had. Like, I told him, I'm like, yo, because first off, he never wanted to be no rapper. But that nigga Doe move like a rapper, yo. He move on his own accord. He get to it. He fly out. He fuck with niggas. You know what I'm saying? He show love.
Yeah.
He move like that. He move like a good businessman, a street businessman, and a fucking rapper. You know what I mean? And he's adding more elements of professionalism. A part of it. It's getting scary, bro, because I keep telling niggas, like, we need more street A&Rs. And what I mean by street A&Rs, the title street is you don't come from college or schooling and work your way into internship to be a A&R. You come from, I know music, I've listened to enough music, I fuck with different niggas, I understand the value of relationships, I come from the streets, so I use the street element of survival to learn this game, and I'm making fucking moves happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I know the culture. You know what I mean? I'm just not a fan of the culture. You know what I mean? That's one thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we respect the fans. We love the fans. We thank them for their support. But just because you're a fan of the culture don't necessarily make you, you know, qualified enough to go out here and be part of the culture.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's why your statement is 100% on point as far as street A&Rs, because these are the people that are actually a part of the culture. These are the people that we need in the offices cutting the checks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are the people that we need selecting who is able to come into this business at all, instead of just, oh, okay, you crazy on the gram. You got, you know, 2 2 million followers and your latest post got 10,000 likes. Let me sign you up, because with that social media following, we can push some streams. You know, that is what's making the business, you know, kind of not necessarily a fun place anymore.
Yeah.
For some of us, you know what I mean? Because it's not necessarily based on actual skill and merit and time and effort. You know, it's a whole lot of other criteria that can get you to the bag in this game, and it almost makes it too easy, or it makes it seem like it's too easy.
Right.
So all these other artists start running in and saying, well, shit, I could do it too. If I buy me enough, you know, if I buy me enough followers and enough likes, I'm going to get to the bag. And that shit is actually starting to happen. It's already been happening.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't understand. Like, when you got street A&Rs, first off, they not finna let none of that bullshit get past them. Because they know if you buzzing or not. That's the one thing that street A&Rs, first and foremost, they know if you buzzing or not in your section. And even without subconsciously knowing what they doing, like, the value of knowing if you buzzing in your section or if you buzzing in another town because you fly out over there majority of the time, or knowing if you can develop a relationship and get some money in this particular town, like, all of that shit, like, niggas is being boardrooms trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? And these street A&Rs, they be like, yo, you from Compton, you doing your thing, but you need to fly out to Nebraska and go fuck with them niggas. Them niggas will pay you for the shit that you do over here. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, that's what street A&Rs be doing, and they know how to go into any situation and get the best value for what that is. You know what I mean? And that's why sometimes, like, a lot of times, I question these labels, because I be like, yo, y'all want to sit here and have these meetings, and y'all want to ask these A&Rs that don't know shit, that's paper pushing. Y'all want to ask them who the hottest out? Man, if you don't go get one of these professional hood niggas that know music and give them the bag and let them run wild, if you don't, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man, stop playing. You know what I mean?
Nah, 100%. So, you know, it's a dope boy in all of our cities. It's a dope boy probably in your camp, man. You know, give him a little bit more responsibility, and all you niggas stop trying to be in front of the camera.
Right.
You gotta be in back of the camera. Perfect example is LeBron James and his team.
Come on, man.
He the nigga that made it that ball. Now let's all find out how we can all support him and all become millionaires, because we get behind one nigga and push instead of secretly competing with your man. You know what I'm saying? Jealousy. Man, he getting light, and none of y'all come up. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the ass backwards way of doing it. You hustling backwards.
Dude,
y'all niggas ain't gotta be rappers.
LeBron put his man through school so he could fire his current manager, so his boy could be his manager.
Man, that's GOAT shit.
That's GOAT shit. Come on, man. That's why I tell niggas, I'm like, yo, LeBron may not be the best athlete or basketball player ever, but eventually he will be the best all-around athlete on and off the court we've ever seen. Because it's like, dude,
because he empowered his man.
That's the killer part.
One of his mans is one of the top agents in basketball. Another one is doing his thing in television and you know, on the production side and movies and shit. You know, another one is his exec for the Lakers. Another one over here. You know, that's how you really, you know, you want to talk about economic, you know, empowerment.
Yeah.
That's it right there in a nutshell.
Yeah.
In a nutshell. So that's why, you know, and it's argued, it can be argued that he is the greatest athlete.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, physically, there has never been another basketball. I know we're going into sports. It's probably more of a combo for me and Johnny Vogel.
You're right. Shout out to Vogel. Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Vogel. But, you know, physically, there has not been another basketball player or athlete in ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just because he hasn't won as many championships as you know, Michael or Kobe, you you know, like you said, man, when it's all said and done, man, it's going to be hard to argue that he's not the GOAT, because his antics on and off the court are A+.
Man, and for me, this is what does it for me. Anytime, and all due respect to basketball players, you know, around the world, but with LeBron, it's like anytime you got these teams sitting back waiting to see what team you're going to go to so they can continue to build the structure of the entire conference around you, you've done 100%. Something. And then on top of that, it's like, no. Like, even though people may call it a sucker move or whatever, it's like, no, I want to go play with my friends. Give them the bag.
One of those people.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I was one of those people. I was not a LeBron fan.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let me just go ahead and come all the way clean. I'm a diehard Kobe fan. 824, that was my man. You know what I'm saying? That's why I dedicated the video Roses to him. That wasn't no play for likes and views. That really came from my heart.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I could have went and did a video and stood around a bunch of roses and had some girl. I could have did that video easily.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was just, Kobe was my man. So I'm not no LeBron stan. I'm not no dick rider. I was not a fan of LeBron. I respected his game as a ball player.
Right.
Once I got to know exactly what he was doing off the court, I became more of a fan of him for his off the court shit.
Right.
Then once I started to really appreciate his game, especially this season right here, 35 years old, 17 seasons in, what he's doing has never been done before.
Playing point. Playing the last position that dies out over the course of the years. You can't play point after fucking 10, 11, 12 years. This nigga playing point, man.
Talk about it, man. So, you know, again, like I said, I was not a LeBron fan, but you got to give respect is due. You know what I mean? You can, you know, study somebody for a long time and be like, you know what? I am a fan now. And I got to give him respect. And I respect how he controlled the narrative as far as his moves in the NBA. Now, I'm not letting you owners, you know, move me around and sell me, and, you know what I mean, use me as like property. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to move around how I want to move around. Y'all got to move on my course. So, again, man, you know, that song, Avon Mind State, from OG Part 2 is inspired by people like LeBron James, of course, Clarence Avon, you know what I mean? People that are, you know, move behind the scenes. And you may not know about the moves they make, but they make real serious moves, and not only just for themselves, but for other people.
You know what I'm saying? Man, he a Capricorn like me, so he only happy if his squad happy. That's how I am. Like if my whole squad not eating or they not comfortable, then I'm not comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And that's what it take. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, just full circle, you know, being somebody, you know, it's very hard to be a modeled example in all, you know, spectrums, you know, business, you know, culture, family, everything. You know what I mean? But if you had to, you know, look at certain people and say, yo, I would want to model how I progress things in my life, I would definitely pick LeBron. I would definitely pick LeBron and a lot of other cats, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what real empowerment is. Seeing somebody that's rocking with you and holding them accountable to the progression of what y'all all trying to do. That's what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? Because even with, you know, what I do with, like, when we working, like my boy Baju, local astronauts, you know what I mean? Like, we in a company together. First off, this is my mentor, but at the same time, we businessmen, but our values of how we do things on a family side, you know, from personal to business, like, we always getting at each other to make sure that we do better at everything. You know what I mean?
Still.
Yeah, and then even our business model of what we do is about brands working with brands. We're a brand, and we want to work with a brand. We work with, you know what I'm saying, Follow Your Dreams Management, but Doughboy, he's a brand. We work with, you know what I'm saying, the Outlawz, that's a brand. You're a brand. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's about. It's about brands working with brands and helping each other get to where we need to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and building these brands up, man, so where they're all multi-million-dollar companies, and we can hire other people and build other execs, and
right.
They call it, king building. You know what I mean? That's what I'm about, man. I'm about king talk.
Yeah.
About making other kings around me. It ain't just enough for me to be a king. You know what I mean? I want to help somebody else be a king if that's what they choose to do.
Right. That's real. Man. Last thing, because I know you got to go. I know you're busy. But I always wanted to talk to you about this because I know you and probably a couple of people can feel me on this. So, I'm from Brooklyn. I live half of my life in New York, half of my life in L.A.
A lot of people don't know I'm from Brooklyn too.
I know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But same premise for you. You live a portion of your life in New York and a portion of your life in L.A. And what people don't understand is, like, because even when you rap, it's like you have a style that no matter what style of beat, East Coast or West Coast, you sound like you belong on that track. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to get your opinion on, like, what does it take? Like, what does it take to be able to get a voice or just get a style that's just interchangeable? Because some people, it's obvious that they do this one style and they trying to do this style. But for you, it's like, and especially, Pac, you know what I'm saying, Gaddafi, like, all of y'all had this element where it was like, dude, it don't matter what record you put us on. We belong on these style of beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did y'all pull that off?
Man, the best way to answer that question is to just tell you the truth. In the early part of our career, a lot of our time was spent learning. I just got to be honest with you, man. Right. It's not to punch no certain message down to these younger artists. It's just the truth. Pac would have us around learning how to really be a recording artist and not just a rapper. You know what I mean? That's what I feel his goal was for us. He never came out and said, yo, I want to teach y'all to be this. He would just lead by example, and if it wasn't right, y'all wasn't going to hear that shit. You know what I mean? Y'all wasn't supposed to hear that shit. Now, unfortunately, a lot of our music was bootleg, so you did hear records where we was just learning, and Pac never had no plans on putting them shits out. Right. You know what I mean? But, on certain records, we would get it right. Like, I remember, when we finished Made Niggas, Pac was just, like, super, that nigga was the hypest I ever seen him. You know what I mean? Almost to the point of tears. He's like, nah, y'all niggas got it. Y'all sound like a group. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Y'all sound, you know what I mean? And our whole goal was to lock down the country with a group full of guys that you really couldn't tell where they was from. And if you could tell where they was from, they was going to lock down that genre. Like, all the East Coast niggas, Jersey niggas was supposed to take care of, the East Coast. I grew up Brooklyn, but I moved to the Midwest in my teenage years and then to the West Coast. You know what I mean? So I had a more of a West Coast kind of flavor to me anyway. And when a West Coast beat came on, I wasn't intimidated by it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then you had the West Coast cats, like a lot of people don't know, Ro was actually born in LA and then he moved to Jersey.
Wow.
And so you got all these different regions being mixed up into a group, and it was on purpose that, you were a fan of whatever region you was from. If you was from the East Coast, like all that East Coast shit, you was probably gonna love Hussein, Fatal, and Gaddafi.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they were noble, because they was like, they had that strictly East Coast style. So, we just learned how to really get on these beats and do our thing and not sound uncomfortable or sound like it was too much of a stretch. Right.
Hey, that's crazy because, like, people don't really understand the concept of a recording artist. Like, no, like, you professionally create records for the entertainment game, for the music industry. Like, that's a real thing. It's just like performing artists. You are a professional at performing on major stages. It's a real thing. You know what I mean? And even for me,
it takes time to learn this shit, man. It's one in a million is just gonna be a natural. They just break the mold. They just come out. They don't need much. That's very far and few. You know what I mean? Most people that become great become great over time. We love Prince. Man, the nigga was a genius and he could play all his instruments, but he learned over time and got better as an artist.
Right.
You know what I mean? He got better as an artist. You listen to the first Prince record, had great joints on it. You listen to Pac first record, had great joints on it. But even Pac learned over time. He learned how to pick beats that matched his style. He learned who to record with. He learned what his audience like. Through trial and error.
Yeah, man.
That work. That's that workload, like you talk about.
That's that workload, you know what I'm saying? And even like for me, like with production, you know, I have a very large palette of styles of production, you know what I'm saying? And people are just starting to realize that, like, I can go full gritty New York boom bap, and then I can just turn this whole West Coast appreciation type shit right on. And it's funny because I just
Can I give you some roses real quick? Just real quick, man, before we end this conversation.
Yeah.
The way you chopped up the Tender Kisses beat by Tracy Spencer, I believe that's her name.
Yep.
That's when I knew you was cold. Because I actually used to love that song. You know what I mean? I used to love that song. Tender Kisses was a classic to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It was always on my slow jam mixtapes I used to make in high school, right?
Yeah.
And so when you played it for me, I'm listening to it, but you chopped it to where it sounds like you just looped it. But you did. You chopped that.
Right.
And I can hear it.
That's a full chop.
I can hear it because I'm a fan of producers that know how to chop and chop without you really noticing that they chopping. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Easy Mo B is another one that's crazy.
Anyway. one of my top 5. Easy Mo B, one of my top 5. And I actually got a chance. Badru, one of his mans that knew Dougie Fresh, he came by the lab and he actually put me on the phone with Easy Mo B. That did. I swear to God, I made about 100 beats that week just from talking to him. Yo.
Yeah. I watched Easy Mo B make a couple beats, man. I watched him make If I Die Tonight, which I promise you he did.
Oh my God.
I was sitting right there just watching like a fly on the wall, man, because out of the group, I was the one that was mostly in the production. You know what I mean? Actually how the record was made. You know what I mean? A lot of us was just there to kick their rap, you know what I mean, or whatever. But I was in there to see the whole process. Like, yo, what is the engineer doing over there? What is he doing? Well, I want to know the whole process. So I just sat there and just was quiet as hell. Like, yo, because sometimes when Pac was working, if niggas wasn't working, he'd throw niggas out the studio, like, yo, go wait in the lounge. You know what I mean? Y'all niggas, you know, I need to be in here by myself. And that particular day, he just let me sit there and I just watched Easy Mo B start. Pac came in the studio like, yo, I heard that Flavor in Your Head joint by Craig Mack, man. Why you ain't give me no shit like that? Easy Mo B was like, Pac, you want something like that? And if you listen to If I Die Tonight, it's really kind of like a Flavor in Your Head beat. Even
right.
He just didn't give Pac the exact same thing. He gave Pac his version of Flavor in Your Head. You know what I mean? And that's how If I Die Tonight came up. So yeah, you know, I watched Masters chop, and you a master.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh, that's one of my favorite records on Me Against the World too, man. Oh.
Yeah, I watched him make that. I watched him make My Block.
Oh my God. Oh man.
That crazy. If you listen to that record and then listen to the Isley Brother record, and then you'll go, damn, this man is a genius.
That's crazy. My Block is one of the all-time. That was on the show soundtrack, right?
100%.
Man, oh my, man.
That's why I watched him make those two beats. You know, I think Pac did those records in the same day.
Man, classics. Man, I'm telling you, this is what we live for, man. And you know, definitely rest in peace. You know, Pac, you know, Gaddafi, Fatal, you know what I mean? Everybody that we lost, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we continue, you know what I mean? We continue because, you know, there's more people to empower and there's more things to say. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, I mean, shit, that's what I got to do if I'm gonna still be here. That's what I need to be doing.
Right. Man, I'm sorry to take up too much of your time, but it was so flavorful, man. That's crazy, man. That's so crazy.
It's a great convo, man. I appreciate you having me on, man.
Man, always. We definitely got to link up once everything slow down. I mean, really just fucking go to dinner or something, go to brunch or some shit and just chill and just chop it up, you know what I'm saying? When Doe in town or something like that and Badru is available, you know what I mean? Let's just go, let's be on some vibe shit, because, aside from the music, that's all lovely, but, I really respect you, as a person, as a man, as a father, as a businessman, you know what I'm saying? And,
Thank you.
Man, I love to just chop it up and just pick your brain. You know what I mean?
We could do that, man. Come on, man. You talking about eating? You know what I mean? Like,
you already know.
The time and the place, man, and I'm there.
Come on, let's get it, man. I appreciate you, man. Continue your day. I'm finna take these knuckleheads to the studio. We got work to do.
That's what it do, man. Enjoy your day, man. We'll wrap it soon.
All right, you too, King. Hold it down.
One.